Hello YouTube, Robert Alvarez the Psychic Witch and Apollo the Cat, formerly known as Apollo the Kitten. Isn't he gorgeous? Isn't he gorgeous? I love my cats. I am proud to be a child-free, crazy cat gentleman. Anyway, so I wanted to do this video for several reasons. So number one, the idea came to me a few weeks ago, maybe a few months ago. I don't remember offhand, but it was definitely this year, 2025, number one. And number two, I don't do enough videos where I teach or I talk about different ways of doing things metaphysically, magically, and mystically. So I wanted to do one of those videos. And of course, you're going to have to deal with the fact that one of my beautiful cats is grooming itself right now. So there you go. As always, please make sure to give this video a like, a share, subscribe to the channel, because all of those things make a difference to the YouTube channels and the algorithm and all the other shit. Anyway, so this is how I do a deeper dive process with a deck. Now, the first thing I want to say before I say anything else is, this is how I do it. This is not my way of saying, you need to do it this way, or you're a bad witch, or any of that other kind of bullshit. It's certainly not my way of saying, now you got to do it this way, or else. It's not like that. And by the way, I reserve or else for other people. You're not one of them. So, some of you may be upset about that, but just so you know, the fact of the matter is that this is something that works for me. This method, this format works best for me. And this is what I do for myself. This may inspire you. This may give you some ideas. There may be parts of my format or my process that are like, I like that. I really do love that. And there may be other aspects that are like, you know what? I don't like that. I'm not going to do that. I'll do the ones that I like and not the ones that I don't like. Or you may be like, you know what? I don't want to do any of this bullshit because it's not going to work for me and I already know that, and there you go. And some of you may be like, you know what? Let me try something new. Let me step out of my comfort zone and actually do something different. Okay, so this is, and of course, you'll notice that there's a lot of purple on the table because, well, this is what happens when I spend time with a lot of artists. I become more aesthetically oriented. So anyway, so this is the journal that I use for this particular deeper dive. This is similar to the process that I used with the two Lilith decks, the two Lilith Oracle decks. So that being said, and Goddess bless Drake, sneezing in the background. Hello, Bast! Bast is back. Now we have, and the interesting thing is that Apollo is Drake's secondary feline familiar, and Bast is Drake's primary feline familiar. Yes, I know, you look so beautiful. I am going to get that thing out of the corner of your eye, whether you like it or not, but I'm not going to do it now. So, okay, I was talking. I'm going to continue. So on the back, I have an index card that tells me the approximate measurements of the journal. It's 7.5 by 10 inches. Again, that's approximate, not exact. It's a hardcover, by the way. Well, thank you, Apollo. First it was Bast, then it was Apollo. The fact that those two cats are Drake's feline familiars is not lost on me. Because sometimes Drake will go from one part of my apartment to another, and he'll drop something. And I just look at him. And he's not looking at me for obvious reasons. And it's like, I dropped that, didn't I? I'm like, yes, you did. All right, let's try this again. Take two. So, okay. The energy is out of control, everybody, in YouTube land. So, hardcover journal. I do a dedication page. which is the first page. Now, the deeper dive that I'm doing with this journal are 2 decks. The Starseeker Tarot, which was created by Nikki Ferrara, and the Starseeker Oracle, which was also created by Nikki Ferrara. And what I do is, on the left pages, so these pages on the left, I will write the date, well, on both pages, I will write the date, including the day of the week, the approximate time. Underneath, in parentheses, I will write if the moon is waxing or waning and in what sign she is waxing or waning. And then now, when I began doing this, I would pull 1 card from each deck. And then I was supposed to start pulling 2 cards from each deck in August, and I forgot that part. So as of September 1st, I pulled 2 cards from each deck. As of October 1st, I will be pulling 3 cards from each deck. And since I have not been guided and led to do a more than a walkthrough series of videos with these particular decks, then I'm just going to continue using them until the spirits say take a break from them for now. And by the way, Nikki Ferrara does have a new Starseeker tarot deck coming out soon. The Kickstarter is coming out soon. Let me rephrase that. I will include the information for that deck in the description box for this video. So now what I do is I pull 2 cards from each deck per day. So for example, for today, Monday, September 29th, 2025, during a waxing moon in Capricorn, I pulled the Lover's card and the Empress card. And then I write whatever I'm intuitively guided to write. In this case, I wrote, today is a great day to focus on divine love healing energy. And then on the right side, on the right, one of the right pages, I wrote down the date, today's date, the approximate time of day, that the moon is waxing in Capricorn, in parentheses underneath, and then I pulled 2 cards from the Starseeker Oracle, namely Quest and Joy. And this is what I was guided to write. Need I say more? Seriously, make joy your quest for the day. Sometimes I write things a little more poetically, sometimes I write things a little more simply, sometimes I write things a little more elaborately. For example, Saturday, September 13th, 2025, while the moon was waning in Gemini, I pulled the 5 of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles, and I wrote, money worries may start to creep up, so remember to use your energy, especially your physical energy, wisely and productively. What do you wish to see? What do you wish to create? And then, on the same date, again, while the moon was waning in Gemini, I pulled 2 cards from the Starseeker Oracle. I pulled the Warrior card and one of the affirmation cards, the one that reads, it is safe to trust myself. So again, I pulled the Warrior card from the Starseeker Oracle, and I pulled one of the affirmation cards, which reads, it is safe to trust myself. And then I wrote, trust and believe in your warrior energy. Protection and safety come in various forms. And that is how I do my deeper dive with these 2 particular decks. And that is how I do deeper dives with any decks. I find that working with 2 decks simultaneously works very well for me. You may do a deeper dive with a different deck a different way. You may be guided and led to use a journal that is roughly this size. I don't remember the measurements of this particular journal, but what I will do is I will find out what the measurements are, and then I will include them in the description box for this video. And of course, some of you may want to do something a little more high-tech. You may want to use your smartphone. And in your smartphone, you may want to either use, I have an app called Notes, Color Note, which has different sticky notes and electronic format. And then, of course, I can choose different colors for different reasons. Let's say, for example, if I'm pulling a tarot card for the day or an oracle card for the day, I could write, for example, I could set it up for add text. And then let's say for example, tomorrow I pull Knight of Pentacles, and say the Ace of Wands. And then I would tune into those cards, and then I would tune into the energies of those cards, the imagery on those cards, and then I would write down what I'm intuitively guided to write. The same thing would apply to the oracle card deck. Now, there are different ways you can do this. You can work with one deck at a time, 2 decks at a time. You could even work with 3 decks at a time if you feel guided and led to do so. I'm actually considering a deeper dive with all 4 of Athene Noctua's decks. She has 3 oracle card decks and 1 tarot deck, and I recently acquired all 4 of them. So now I have all 4 of the decks created by Athena Noctua, and I will definitely include her information in the description box for this video as well. But however you do a deeper dive, by all means, make sure that it works best for you, number 1. And number 2, also, make sure that it's convenient for you. You know, for some people it is more convenient to have a larger journal, a hardcover, or a soft cover. For some people it's more convenient to have a smaller journal. You know, some of you may feel guided and led to use something this size. I, of course, love using purple pens, and specifically when I'm filling out applications or documents, when I'm signing my signature, when I'm authorizing something. It doesn't have to be, although some places it has to be blue or black, so I keep that in mind. But however you do a deeper dive with a deck, I would love to hear in the comments how you do a deeper dive. I really would love to hear how your process is, if for no other reason, because I truly believe that anybody who's wanting to learn how to work with a deck, especially intuitively, whether it is a tarot deck, a Lenormand deck, a gypsy card deck, they may also benefit from your processes and your ideas and your regimens, if you will. And I'm also going to say, with a tarot deck, you can go and pull 1 card. With an oracle card deck, you can pull 1 card. With playing card divination, with gypsy cards, you can pull 1 card. When it comes to Lenormand or Kipper, pulling 1 card really doesn't give you a full picture. Pulling 1 card from either a Lenormand deck or a Kipper deck would be akin to, this is what I'm learning from this card today, as opposed to, what does the universe want me to know? So, and of course, for some of you in YouTube land, you may find that pulling 1 card a day from a Lenormand deck or a Kipper deck actually works best for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that works best for you, by all means, do what works best for you. And I cannot reiterate that. This is not me saying, oh, well, I'm the authority, I'm the expert. You have to do it my way or else, or you have to do it my way. Otherwise, you're not going to be good at this. That's just utter bullshit. Or to use a term from the Irish, it's pure shite. And that's what it is, it's pure shite. So all that shite that's going to say, well, you have to do it my way, is just that, it's shite. You don't have to do it my way at all. This is my opportunity to give you an opportunity to explore a different way of doing something. And for some of you, it will work. For some of you, it will not. For some of you, you'll be like, I like that part. I'll do that part. And for some of you, they'll be like, you know what? This is the only part of these whatever number of parts that works for me. So I'm only going to use the one that works for me, and I'm not going to use any of the others. And for some of you, it could be like, you know what? I'm not ready to do it like that just yet. But I should be ready in a month, or I should be ready in 2027, or I should be ready in spring. whenever spring is for you, if you're not in the southern hemisphere, which their spring is now. They're in the spring right now. For those of us in the northern hemisphere, spring will not be until 2026. So however you do this, let me know in the comments. And thank you to those of you who watched this video. Thank you to those of you who've given this video likes, comments, shares, subscriptions to my YouTube channel. And of course, an extra big and bountiful thank you to those of you who have already scheduled your sessions, especially your private sessions with yours truly, Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch. And with that being said, thank you for all the likes, comments, shares, and subscriptions to my YouTube channel. An extra big and bountiful thank you to those of you who have already scheduled your sessions, whether it was at a public venue like last Saturday's Hispanic Heritage Mercadito, or if it will be at this Friday's Moon, Serpent, and Bone 7th Annual Samhain Night Market, or if you're going to avail yourself of a private session with me afterward, that same day, except earlier in the day, next week, next month, next year, whatever. But for now, I want to thank you one and all for honoring who I am and what I do, and of course for honoring Drake, more commonly known as my awesome audio-visual person for my YouTube videos, and everything he does as well. Stay in tune with your intuition. Stay safe, stay well, stay hydrated, stay enraptured by the beauty of Apollo, and stay tuned for the next video. Isn't that right, Apollo? He's just